When it comes to selling, are you a giving salesperson, a telling salesperson, or a sense-making salesperson? Not sure? It can make a big difference in the amount of sales you close by understanding and being the right one. Learn about them in this video. In a recent Harvard Business Review magazine, I read this article called SenseMaking for Sales by Brent Adamson. He is the author of The Challenger Sale and a co-author of The Challenger Customer. Very well-known and appreciated sales books. In this article, Brent lays out some convincing data for being a certain type of salesperson, which he calls the sense-making salesperson. And you might be wondering, what is that exactly? Well, before I explain that, I want to share with you what the other two types of salespeople are so that you can determine for yourself what type you are and what type you might like to gravitate towards being in the future. One is the giving salesperson, and that is a person who gives and gives lots of information to the customer, or prospective customer in this case. They believe that by giving lots of information, being highly responsive, that's going to help the customer to close more business. The problem with that is that today's customer is not lacking for information. Take a look at this article that was in the magazine in the past. This article is death by information overload, and that's where a lot of your prospective customers are today. They have so much information that they're actually overwhelmed by it, they're perplexed by it, they're confused by it. So by being a giving salesperson and giving more information that's not necessarily precisely targeted towards helping the customer to make a good decision, you might be just giving too much and causing the sale to stall. So then there's the telling salesperson. The telling salesperson is highly experienced, very knowledgeable, and has good intuition. They believe that the way that they can help the customer who's dealing with information overload is to just tell them what they should do. They ask great questions, they learn about this customer situation, and they tell them what their best recommendation is. Well, there is some pluses around that. Customers like a salesperson with confidence. If they trust the salesperson, maybe they'll go with the salesperson's recommendation. But you know that most buyers don't necessarily trust the salesperson to tell them what to do. They would rather make a decision on their own. And isn't that true of most of us? We like to make purchasing decisions on our own and not be told what to do. So then you might end up not making as many sales as you could by being a telling salesperson. So that leaves the sense-making salesperson, which makes a lot of sense. It is a salesperson who helps the customer to, one, make a decision on their own, but enters the learning journey with them by not acting as if they have all the answers and they know everything and know exactly what the customer should do. They're willing to admit they don't know, but they are also willing to go on the learning journey with the customer and do a little bit of homework to try to find them information that's really pertinent to the decision-making process for that specific customer in their situation. So rather than just flood them with information, they give them targeted information. They give them perhaps questionnaires that help them to size up their situation and really determine what would be the right course to go. And they end up going in that purchase path with them and helping them to make that decision on their own, but through great guidance from the salesperson. See, the salesperson helps them make sense of all the information that's out there. And this is what customers really want, because when they get that kind of help, then that raises their confidence in themselves and their ability to make decisions. See, the author of the article says that it's not so much that they need more confidence in the salesperson to make a decision. They need more confidence in themselves. And the sense-making salesperson does exactly that. By going on the learning journey with the customer, helping them to ask and answer the right questions, get the right information, and come to a decision on their own, which won't always lead them to the SenseMaking Salesperson solution, then the customer gains confidence in themselves and is more willing to make a decision rather than just make no decision at all, which is what will happen in the giving salesperson situation or the telling salesperson situation. More often than not, they'll make a decision. And that's what we want, right? We don't want customers who sit on the fence. We want customers who will make a decision. The more customers we can get to make a decision, the more sales we'll make. We may lose a few in this approach because sometimes our solution won't be the best. But if we raise all boats, then we should benefit. And by helping them to understand the right criteria and being aware of how we're strong in a given area of criteria, we may help them to make a decision that ultimately leads to our solution anyway. So I hope you'll go to hbr.org and read this article. You can subscribe online. You may be able to read the article one time at no charge, or you can purchase the article or get the back issue of the magazine that had the article in it. Either way, I really think you should read this article and start to understand what it means to be a sense-making salesperson, because this is absolutely a wave of the future for today's overwhelmed buyer. I hope this video has helped you to think more deeply about the type of salesperson that you are. If it has helped you, like the video, comment on it, share it with others. If you have your own thoughts about the 3 types of salespeople talked about in this video, please post them in the comments below. I'd love to see them. Or if you have questions, please post them in the comments below. And you've probably heard it already, but I have a new online sales course that I'd love you to take a look at. It's a 7-week program that will take you deep into how to become a better salesperson by looking at your mindset, approach, and process. Take a look at it, invest in it, and see your sales ability steadily grow over time and get a return on investment in the program for months and years down the road. Many, many more times than the cost of the course. And there's a 45-day guarantee, so you really have nothing to lose. Thank you very much, and best wishes to you.